So there's two things I've always noticed about pop beats. One, it's always a vibe, and the second thing is it usually starts in a major scale. But for this beat, we're gonna be starting in a minor key. So I started off with these pads right here. This is what it sounds without effects. And although it sounds good, I added some EQ. So what I did here is I brought it to the mid section because I wanted those frequencies only. And then I added a reverb and it created that sound right there. Now really quick, I'm gonna bring out the keyboard and I'm gonna show you guys exactly what chords I was playing. In case you guys don't want to draw them in, I started off in B minor, then I went to G, then I went to D, and A. And that's basically the chords I'm gonna be playing throughout this whole beat. If you want to play it a little juicier, you could just add the left hand. And then just leave your hand right here on the D, and then just go to G with the right hand still on D, and then to D with the right hand on D, and then A. Then I went ahead and added some Rhodes piano with the same chords I was just showing you guys right now. And for the Rhodes piano, all I did was add an EQ from Pro Q3, and then I just took out a lot of the low end, and then just lower some of the mid, and right here some of the high mids right here. Next thing I added was the guitar. And for the guitar, I was still playing in the D major scale, but I was doing something different just to create a counter melody. I don't know, by itself it doesn't sound too exciting, it doesn't sound that great, but when you add them all together with the Rhodes and the pads, it sounds like this. So for the guitar, I only added a Pro Q3 EQ, and I just left right here most of the highs because I wanted most of the highs for this guitar. And I also added a spaced out reverb. This is what it sounds without the reverb. With reverb. And one thing I always love to add is a vocal chop. If you guys watch my videos, you guys know I'm all about the vocal chops and arcade and all that good stuff. So for this one, I added a vocal chop, but I added so many effects to it that it just made it sound like this. And we're gonna go over those right now. Added an EQ, added an RC20, and the last thing I added was an Effectrix. And I just put it on the filter. Without it, it sounds different. It sounds like this. And with it, it sounds like this. So as you can see, it makes a huge difference. Now for the second vocal chop, I added like a whole bunch of effects right here. This one sounds like this. And it sounds like it has a lot of effect. I added an EQ. I just removed some of the mids and some of the highs because it was just too high pitched. And I added a spaced out reverb. You know, I didn't want it too wet. When you raise it up too much, it just doesn't sound good. It sounds kind of muddy, so I just left it kind of dry, but it still sounds good. Also went ahead and added this magic switch, which just made a huge difference with it. For some reason, it really does create just the magic in it. I don't know what it does exactly. Then I went to go ahead and put the CLA vocal. I put the treble down because I didn't want it to sound too like staticky, I guess you could say. I wanted it to sound a little bit more muffled. Well, obviously the opposite of treble is muffled. So I took off all the reverb on this one. I added a little bit of compression, and that was it. And believe it or not, I used a drip plugin for this one. Yeah, no, I'm not being sponsored by this video, but I went ahead and used a lo-fi preset that it already has, and I just left it like that. I also added a little bit of halftime. I left it at 1.5 with 1/8. Then after that, I went ahead and added that's such a mouthful to say. Then I went ahead and added an adaptive limiter. I still said it wrong, didn't I? I went ahead and added an adaptive limiter, and it just created this whole vibe like this. It just sounds amazing. And then all the samples together sounds like this. And then you may say, you know what, honestly, like that vocal is kind of like offbeat, but you know, I know that, but I left it like that because I kind of like how it sounded like that. So yeah, now let's get to the drums. All right, for the drums, I just went ahead and used some percussion sound right here. This nice little clap. And I added right here just one little section so I can make a little difference every time, before it ends on the fourth bar. Then I went ahead and added this little section right here. This is another percussion sound, and it just creates something right before the drop hits. That's what it sounds like right there. Let's hear it again with nothing on. It just sounds so beautiful. Then I went ahead and added the kick. And with the perk together, it sounds like this. Then with the melody, it sounds like this. Then I went ahead and added this bass right here. This bass is from Pigments, and it sounds really nice, and it sounds like this. You know what? It's not even supposed to be a bass. It's called Bright and Dark, and it's in the pad section. And all I did with this is I added a EQ. All alone, the bass sounds like this. And for the bass, I added a saucy distortion right here, and I also added Vitamin. And then after that, I used the same sound, and I made this sound right here. For this one, I just left an EQ on, the same EQ I had for the bass. So from Arcade, I added this thing called Sazon. 8, 8, 8. That's fire. And it just gives it such a vibe once you hear the rest of the beat. And the last thing I added was this crash right here. Boom. Believe it or not, that makes a huge difference. And all I added was a Valhalla reverb to make it sound more crisp. Yeah, and the full beat sounds like this. Guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you guys are liking these type of videos. Let me know what I should do next. Thank you guys. Till next time, stay blessed and stay positive. Peace.